At Wind River Resort and Casino, we like to celebrate life's little moments. Oh, and the big ones too. Because around here, when you're completely in the moment, that's when the magic happens. Come in and find your moment at Wind River Resort and Casino.
Well, good morning, everyone. Meteorologist Mike Krueger here. You are watching Coffee with Krueger every weekday morning at 6:30. And we are going to start off with the weather headlines because we are watching our temperatures to continue to drop. It's been absolutely gorgeous out there, and it still is. It's still very nice. It's still very pleasant outside, but temperatures are on the downward trend. This is a sign of things to come. Number one, we've got showers and cooler temperatures by the end of the week. Snow levels are dropping to as low as 3,000 feet, although I think it'll be closer to about 3,500, 4,000 feet over the weekend. And this unsettled weather pattern that will eventually set itself up is going to stick around at least into early next week, if not even into the middle part of next week. All right, let's take a look at those temperatures out there right now. And it's pretty mild right now, about 56 degrees in Redding. We are actually seeing a few clouds, especially for the north end of the valley and off to the west. And of course, that may keep temperatures a little bit warmer, with 49 right now in Red Bluff, 54 in Chico, 51 in Oroville. There you can see about El Tourist, about 27, 36 in Susanville. And there we've got those temperatures mainly in the 50s, upper 40s, low 50s here for Trinity County, 52 degrees in Crescent City, and 49 right now in Eureka. We'll take a look at that visibility down in southern Humboldt County. We do have some pretty dense fog, looks like in some areas there, but for the most part, we're not looking at bad visibility. There are some low clouds, a little bit of fog out along the coast, but it's not very low cloud cover. So that's the reason why we have some pretty good visibility as a result. In fact, we can kind of take a look at the satellite image here, and we are seeing some of those clouds, kind of low clouds, especially along the coast. But look at to the east there as well, out near Redding and Anderson this morning, and even Red Bluff. There were a few clouds this morning. A lot of those clouds are beginning to dissipate as well. All right, we'll take a look at that current image right now coming in from Crescent City, Harbor District. And again, this is just illustrating the fact that we don't really have much in the way of cloud cover out there. I mean, not, should I say fog. There is some cloud cover out there, and in fact, we take a look at what it looks like right now in Elk Country, just north of Trinidad. You kind of see there off in the distance, we are seeing some of those clouds out there, but again, we're not looking at much in the way of fog and low visibility as a result. Let's go and take a look now at Main Street, Chico. This is Highway 32 there. And if you look off in the distance, you can see things beginning to clear out a little bit. We're starting to see a little bit of sunshine. Not a lot of traffic this morning there. However, a bit of a different story in Highway 99 at Neal Road. And there you can see traffic moving right along there. Of course, no fog in the valley. Take a look at Sundial Bridge Drive. This is off Highway 44. Again, seeing some nice colors there with that sunrise image as we're looking off to the east. Obviously, sun rises in the east, sun sets in the west. And again, seeing a few clouds out there, especially to the northwest of Redding. So this is what I've got my eyes on right now. You see what we've got going on. You see that got the line of clouds, that little counterclockwise spin, that area of low pressure. That is moving to the north and east. Now, the reason it's moving up in that direction is we still have high pressure in place, and that's diverting a lot of the energy to our north. But what's different about this storm system, and really today, is the fact that the ridge is really beginning to show signs of weakening. This is going to open the door and allow for more cloud cover and maybe even some showers in the forecast. And we can't even rule out a thunderstorm as well. And I want to show you something here. Show you two different forecast models. This is our in-house forecast model here at Weather NorCal. So this is, there's several different short-range forecast models that you can look at. But this is the one that's exclusive here to Weather NorCal. So I want to show you something here. First of all, it's picking up on the cloud cover that we're seeing this morning, especially for the north end of the valley and even to the west side as well. So it's doing a pretty good job there as well. Now, as we take you through time, I'm going to take you to the noon hour. See those clouds begin to erode away, so I do expect to eventually see more clearing, to see a little bit more sunshine in the valley. But look off to the west, look off to the left of your screen there. We're beginning to see a little bit of activity with that area of low pressure, that storm system off to our west right now, beginning to show signs of doing a little something, right? At least producing some rain off the coast. Still dry for everyone else, but it looks like we still have a lot of the low clouds kind of lingering around the coast. There looks like a few spots maybe going to clear out a little bit here, but we're still seeing a lot of the, what we call that stratus deck along the coast here. But check this out. I'm going to take you to about 4 o'clock this afternoon. See what's happening? We're beginning to see what we call convection, and also a weak disturbance passing through Northern California. Now what it's doing, and this particular forecast model is picking up on enough instability for some showers. But not only that, looks like a little bit stronger with the potential for maybe some lightning strikes. And we're getting in the deep reds there, indicating that we are seeing the potential for a heavier downpour. Now, it looks like this is going to dodge Redding, and I'll show you as we kind of progress through time. You see how it kind of moves to the northwest of Redding. But places like West Redding could possibly see it. Old Shasta, for example, French Gulch, could see some of this activity here later this afternoon and evening. But notice by 5 p.m. it's mainly to the north of Redding. So Lakehead, most likely seeing some of this shower activity. Now, is it going to develop into a thunderstorm? I'm going to lean towards no, because when you look at other forecast models, we're just not quite seeing that development, at least that strong of development. But we'll see. I mean, this particular forecast model may prove itself to be the best, to work the best, right? Because you can see also some activity to the north and east, even out near Mount Shasta City. It looks like we could be looking at the potential for some of those showers as well. Then we take you to about 6 p.m. See how it's moving to the north and east. So now we're getting kind of in the McLeod area, right? Highway 89, north of Lakehead. We start seeing some of that as well. Then that pushes to the north and east, and now we're mainly in eastern Siskiyou County where we're seeing that potential. But take note, look off to the coast here. Look off to the west of the coast. So see how it's picking up on some shower activity there. That may eventually bring some drizzle, light showers for the coast later on this evening and tonight. And that instability you're seeing that's moving through is actually now off to the north and east, north of Modoc County. Now I want to show you the exact same time frame, but a different forecast model. This one is known as the HRRR, or the HRRR. This one's readily available to anyone. This updates every single hour. And what it does is it takes the current conditions, and then of course it projects each hour what's going to happen. So this doesn't really usually go out too far in time, but it will go through the day. So let's take it through time. 8, 9, 10 o'clock this morning, of course, as we'd expect, with the clouds begin to move in here by 4 o'clock this afternoon. But remember, the in-house forecast model that we just looked at was showing thunderstorms or showers developing just to the west of Redding, and nothing else really. Of course, it was even showing some of that activity to the west, but this model is actually more aggressive with the approaching rain coming in from the west. Now, as we take you to about 7, 8 o'clock this evening, you see how the HRR model is picking up on the potential in northern Shasta County, southern Siskiyou County, to maybe see some showers. And again, Mount Shasta, McLeod, Dunsmuir, all seeing that potential with this particular forecast model, right? Not as aggressive with the shower activity, and not to mention maybe even the potential for thunderstorms. But again, this leads me to believe that, the model that we just looked at may be overdoing it a bit, but we'll see. But look how much more aggressive it is with the rain coming in later on tonight for the coast. Seeing a better potential for showers there. So I think bottom line is the best chance for any activity for today in the valley will be around Redding northward, Old Shasta, Lakehead, City of Shasta Lake, Dunsmuir, Mount Shasta, McLeod. So northern Shasta County has the best potential, and southern and eastern Siskiyou County, and maybe even making its way into parts of Modoc County as well. That's where we have the best chance in that area. Now for the coast, I think we've got a chance later on this evening and tonight for some showers to move through, but really shouldn't have too much of an impact. All right, so let's take a look at our forecast for today. I'm expecting those temperatures to be in the upper 60s, low 70s, so still a very warm day for many of us, even in the mountains. But now we're looking at the 7-day forecast, and you can clearly see we're beginning to see those changes. Cooler temperatures, more rain, and snow down to as low as 3,500 feet by the weekend. It's your North Coast neighborhood forecast. Temperatures in the mid-60s, 65 for Redway, 65 for Redcrest, and Honeydew. We'll have about 62 degrees. We take you up north, Fortuna, about 63, 66 for Hydesville, and Ferndale, about 62. And again, keep in mind, it should be dry through most of the day today, but later on this evening, And tonight, all these areas of the north coast could be looking at a few showers later this evening. 62 degrees for Blue Lake, 72 for Willow Creek, and 70 out in Hoopa. We take you up north, Gas Key, about 53, 58 for Klamath, and 58 degrees in Orick. Let's take you your Siskiyou County neighborhood forecast. This is to the west. You can see Happy Camp out 65, 70 in Horse Creek, and 68 degrees for Hornbrook. We take you down to the Scott Valley, where temperatures there should be in the low 60s. And I think you're going to be a little bit to the west of where any of the shower, or even if we see thunderstorms develop, I think Scott Valley will be to the west of most of that activity. Now, places like Mount Shasta, Weed, Dunsmuir, McLeod, Tennant, McDowell, Doris, Tule Lake, all of these areas that you see here have the potential later this evening and maybe even late afternoon to see maybe a stray shower and an off chance for a thunderstorm. Then we go, of course, dry things out for your Thursday, and then we've got more activity coming in for Friday through the weekend. Now, for Modoc County, I think your chances are a bit slimmer, but we could certainly see maybe western, places like Canby, Ayden, Newell, for example, maybe seeing some of that activity here. Meanwhile, in the Eastern Mountains, I think it'll be dry today, 57 for Old Station, 65 for Paynes Creek, Montgomery Creek about 62 degrees. We take you to the south, where there you can see, of course, for Lassen Park and Chester. Chester about 61 today, 57 for Westwood. And of course, we've got Summit Lake about 44 degrees. All right, let's take a look at your Eastern Mountains to the south. Paradise, 65 degrees. Now, we're also including maybe even a chance for a few thunderstorms in the forecast, especially as we go into your Friday, Saturday. Now, again, that could also be the case for the valley. But I'm just going to keep the showers in there, but just bear in mind that there's an off chance for a thunderstorm on Friday and even into Saturday. In fact, Saturday probably better chances for those thunderstorms even in the valley for Friday, Saturday. But today, yeah, I think it'll be dry today for Red Bluff southward, 71 for Corning, 73 for Chico, right? But we take you northward. Maybe Redding, Whiskeytown, Old Shasta, City of Shasta Lake, Lakehead, all seeing the potential for some late afternoon, early evening showers. And as I mentioned, an off chance for an isolated thunderstorm. Make sure you've got the app. Download the app. Keep watching. See what's going on if you're heading up north. Oh boy, I forgot to take out the word spring. I'm going to do that for you right here. Let's watch me edit this. We'll do this together. I'm going to do this. Spring. It's gone. There you go. So I did it for you. I took that out. Meant to edit that, but I didn't get a chance to. Didn't get around to it. But with that being said, spring being in there, that kind of reminded me. This is a fun fact that I shared with everybody yesterday. I said, hey, tell all your friends, tell everybody, says happy first day of spring. Say, nope, it's not. Not until 8:06 tonight. So last night at 8:06, we officially transitioned from winter to spring. So this is actually the first full day of spring today. So really, honestly, I would say today's the day to say happy first day of spring because it's the first full day of spring. I don't know. Fun little fact. Technicalities. But there, of course, you can see the showers moving in for Friday, off and on showers. Now, it's not going to be a complete washout, but I do expect the heaviest rainfall to be on Friday. That's that main first push. Then on Saturday, some showers. And as I mentioned, we can't rule out some thunderstorms for Friday and even Saturday. And then off and on chances for Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. Wednesday, kind of maybe a transition where we maybe start to see the potential for some drier weather toward the middle and especially the latter part of next week. But of course, we're getting ahead of ourselves. The main thing that we're looking at here is the fact that, we are looking at those dry conditions continuing today. But we do have some changes in the forecast here as we kind of look down the pike. Hey, I want to show you some pictures here. That's not, well, that should be two separate words. Heart Rate Hill. Or maybe it's just the same thing. Heart Rate Hill in Redding. I didn't know. I know where this is. I've been here several times. There you can see Sacramento River off in the distance, this Keswick Dam area. This hill, we've all been up it, if you've been on this trail, on the river trail. Now, I had no idea it was called Heart Rate Hill. So thank you, Casey, for enlightening me, and of course others who may not know that it's called Heart Rate Hill, because it's a steep hill, so it gets that heart rate going. So I guess it only makes sense that that's what it's called. I want to thank Catherine Schmidt for sending in this picture of Bernie Mountain. Look at that, just gorgeous. You can clearly see kind of that snow line as you start to see that snow begin to melt off, and not a ton of snow up there. It's not at the highest of elevations, but certainly high enough to, of course, get that snow. And this was fun. I had a chance to do a school visit yesterday and read a book. I had mentioned to you yesterday morning that I was going to be reading a book to the kids at Mount Calvary Christian Academy School. Now, I took someone's recommendation. And when I arrived, because I didn't know if I had any books here. So when I arrived, they had a few books that were related to weather. And I said, just off chance, is there a chance that you might have the book Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs? She said, oh my goodness, we totally have it. I didn't even think to pull it off the shelf for you. So she made a point to pull it off the shelf for me and bring it on over. And I took your recommendation. Who was it? If you're watching this morning, tell me who you were. I think I've got it in here, because when I posted it on Facebook yesterday, she says, I can't believe you used my book. That was so cool that you used my recommendation. Let's see here. It might be, let's see here. Okay, yes, Emily. Emily, if you're watching this morning, and of course you saw it me posted on Facebook yesterday, you saw me post that I read Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs. How much fun was that? And the kids really enjoyed it. And I want to say this to all the kids, and the teachers are phenomenal as well. But it's the kids, right? It's all about the kids. And they were so well behaved, raising their hands. They didn't speak unless I called on them. And they had lots of great questions about what I do for a living, my job. We talked about kind of the transition from TV to coming out here. And this is the next generation. These are the people that I've got to get to, right? Because this is the next generation. But of course, I want to, of course, stay loyal and true to my base as well. But yes, thank you for inviting me to your school, your home for the day, and I appreciate it. So it was a lot of fun. Had a lot of fun with that. Let's check in with everybody, see how you're doing here. Good morning, Lisa, Casey, morning from Shingletown, one of our few ex-watchers. So I'm glad that I am able to stream it there for you as well. Good morning from Terry. How about Brian Pickard saying good morning to everybody? Good morning. Have a great day. You too, Jenna Lee. And there you can see Rebecca saying good morning from Paradise. Gotta love those mornings in Paradise. Good morning and have a great day from Bill Carlton. So yeah, what's everybody's plan today? What are you planning on doing today? We got another beautiful day. Get out there and enjoy it, right? Because the cooler and wetter weather is going to be here before you know it. And by the way, I want to remind you that you can share your images with me a very easy way. If you don't have the app, first and foremost, why not? All right, you got to get the app. If you want the best weather information you can get for you locally here in Northern California, then this is the best source for you. I want you to go to your iPhone, go to the App Store, and search for Weather NorCal. It'll pop up, and download the app for free. There are no charges, no hidden fees. You're not going to be asked to pay later. It's a free app. Android, go to the Google Play Store. Search for Weather NorCal, do the same thing, and download the app for free. And then from there, you can share your photos. Just scroll to the bottom of the app, and it'll say photos. Share your photos. And you can do that. And it's a very easy process. By the way, I also want to remind you, I've got some radio partners out there. K Shasta 104.3, if you listen to Don and Heather in the mornings, at about a little after 7:30, I do an update with them. Logan Kane in the AM, 106X, 7:50 in the morning. I do a weather update with him. And Stephen Clark, News Talk, KQMS, about 8:05 in the morning. I do a live update with them as well. Always have a lot of fun with them. And of course, I've heard from some of you out in public saying that you listen every morning. So what that tells me is you probably even listen on the radio. So I certainly appreciate you listening to me in the morning, listening to any of these 3 radio stations, because they put out some great content. And it's all different needs, right? Kind of the K Shasta, kind of suiting kind of the typical pop culture. Then, of course, Logan Kane, a little bit more of the rock, right? If you like a little bit of that heavier music. And then, of course, Stephen Clark. They are a news organization. So if you want to get your daily news from them, you can do that. And, of course, you can get your local forecast right there on KQMS from me. All right? So that's kind of cool. Let's see what else is going on. We've got Amy Sandra Stearns is saying good morning this morning. Good morning this morning. Elaine is saying good morning, and we've got Lorraine. Curtis, 7 miles west of Red Bluff. Another day for some vineyard work. Ooh, vineyard. So what do you actually pick the grapes and make wine? I mean, do you have an actual legitimate full-blown vineyard, like where you make wine and sell it and all that good stuff? Love to hear about it. Because as you know, I do the ag report, so that might be kind of fun. And Jerry O'Lennon last week did a report out at the vineyard from the monks out in Vina. So it'll be interesting to, see if there's other vineyards around the area that might want to do an ag report as well. So that'd be kind of fun. Check that out. But yeah. Okay, so here I am even kind of sitting on that for a while. Sometimes I forget that that's what's on the screen, and then there you go. Not quite sure what's going on there. Maybe meant to say amen. All right. Well, tell you what, let us get to your forecast. We're going to get to your kind of more deep dive forecast. Before we get to that, I want to remind you, of course, we've got our daily sponsor of Coffee with Krueger, and that's made possible by Wind River Resort and Casino. At Wind River Resort and Casino, enjoy friendly service, a wide variety of specials and promotions, plus all of your favorite slots and table games. Okay, so let's get you right to it. We'll take a look at those current conditions out there right now. Before we get to that, we're going to start with the weather headlines because we do have some things to talk about here. First of all, the temperatures have been dropping, believe it or not. It's been pretty warm out there, and we've probably been feeling the warmer temperatures, right? But temperatures have been dropping the last few days, and they will continue to drop. By the end of the week, we're talking showers, cooler weather, snow levels dropping down eventually to as low, I think at the lowest about 3,000 feet, but probably somewhere closer to 3,500 feet and higher. And then unsettled pattern continues into at least early next week, if not even to the middle part of next week. So looking at the temperatures out there right now, 56 for Redding. There's a little bit of cloud cover, especially in the north and west side of the valley here. And that's keeping those temperatures a little bit warmer as a result. But those clouds should retreat through the morning hours and before some more clouds kind of come in and develop later this afternoon. 49 for Red Bluff, 52 degrees for Chico, 50 in Hoopa. Still looking at some low clouds at least. Not necessarily a lot of fog because visibility is actually pretty good along the coast, but overcast skies. 49 degrees for Eureka, 52 degrees right now in Crescent City. 27 for Alturas, 34 in Susanville. And they're going to see Chester right now, temperature of about 27 degrees. So what I got my eyes on is this area of low pressure right here. There's another little bit of a spin below that. But what makes this storm different is the fact that it's actually going to have a chance. It's going to have a better chance to bring us the cloud cover and not to mention some of that rain. Now, there's a reason for that because the ridge of high pressure that's been over us for the last several days has been giving us sunny skies and just the beautiful weather, right? That ridge of high pressure is breaking down. It's been a blocking ridge. It's been blocking any storms out of the Pacific from moving in. But what happens is, as this ridge starts to break down, now that's opening the door for these storm systems and allowing us better potential for some of that rain. All right, so let's take a look at Futurecast. And again, this morning, we are seeing some of the clouds, especially on the north and west side. It may be a little aggressive here, but you get the idea. It's been mainly on the north and west side of the valley. We've seen the bulk of the clouds this morning, and not to mention the low clouds that we are seeing out along the coast. Now, as we go through time, look what's happening. You see how the thunderstorms are beginning to develop, and we looked at this in a little bit more detail earlier. But you can see here, as we go into the afternoon, this particular forecast model, I think, might be a little aggressive on the intensity of the showers moving through. But again, this is the first sign of the ridge breaking down. Now, the ridge is not completely broken down yet. So that's the reason why this storm that's off toward west right now that's approaching and will be here later this afternoon is going to have a hard time really developing much in the way of shower activity. But it could. All right, so we're seeing that. So if you are in North Redding, West Redding, places like Old Shasta, maybe Whiskeytown, Lakehead, basically North Shasta County and West Shasta County, best chance to see some activity here. And not to mention making its way into Siskiyou County as well. So Mount Shasta, McLeod, Dunsmuir, right? Some of these areas like Weed, you might see some of those showers as well. But I think it'll be mainly east of Highway 97. So places like Doris, McDowell, I think a slimmer chance of seeing that. And I think places like Scott Valley, you'll be too far west of this activity developing here. And then, of course, that pushes northward. But then notice behind me here, we've got the next round of light showers possibly developing later this evening and tonight for the north coast. But look at the clearing. I mean, we are seeing that clearing here later tonight as well for the valley. Now, as we go into Thursday, I don't think we're going to see any disturbances moving through. We're just going to see some cloud cover, especially in the higher elevations, but mainly sunny skies for the valley, partly to mostly cloudy skies out along the coast, but dry. This will be the calm before the storm, because look what's happening as we go into your Friday. We're going to take into Friday morning at about 5 a.m. Here's that main cold front. Now, typically with these types of systems, when they're strong like this, you've got heavy rainfall. Can't rule out an isolated lightning strike. Can't rule out heavy downpours at times, not to mention some gusty winds along this main band of rain. This is typically the cold front. Now, as it shifts off to the east, look what's happening. By 9 a.m. tomorrow morning, we're beginning to see some of that rain move in. I think at this point, it won't be terribly heavy in the morning hours for the valley. The heaviest rainfall will be off to the west. We're seeing snow in the mountains, but I think somewhere between 5,000 and 6,000 feet. So overall travel concerns Friday morning, I think the biggest concern will be over some of the higher mountain passes. So for example, Scott Mountain Pass, sure, yeah, on Highway 3, I think you could probably see some snow up there. But on I-5, I think you're just fine. I think Highway 89 should probably be okay as well. Because again, you have to go up pretty high in elevation before you start seeing that snow. All right, here's noon on Friday. Now you can see that cold front kind of passing through. So there could be that brief period of heavy rainfall for parts of the valley here by midday Friday. We're not looking at tomorrow, Friday, right? Some of that heavy rainfall, gusty winds, but again, snow levels still fairly high, mainly above 6,000 feet. So maybe a few chain requirements east of I-5 over some of the highest mountain passes. Then we go into about 5 p.m. on Friday, and notice we're starting to see it break apart. Now we're kind of getting the cold and unstable part of the storm. So we can't rule out an isolated thunderstorm for parts of the valley, and not to mention even for parts of the north coast as well. Otherwise, it's those showers, heavy downpours at times for some of us, and maybe, just maybe, even some accumulating hail as well. But we're seeing that snow still mainly above 6,000 feet at this point. All right, so let's take a look at the rainfall totals, at least just through Friday. This is coming in from our in-house forecast model. And yeah, I mean, we could see about 1/2 inch to close to an inch once all is said and done just for Friday. So some really good rain heading our way. Quite honestly, it might be overdoing it a little bit here, but we'll see. I think, 1/2 inch, give or take, in the valley, and maybe a little bit more for places out along the coast. Snow, I think it's overdoing it for Mount Shasta. It's showing that on Friday we could see some accumulating snow. I don't think that's going to happen. I don't even think we're going to see a mix for Mount Shasta City on Friday. Again, because with snow levels 6,000 feet, I mean, you have to go pretty high in elevation. So Ski Park, it might be borderline, I think, with this first push. It might be borderline kind of a rain-snow mix there, but eventually lowering as we go into the weekend, down to about 3,500 feet or so. So good, some decent snow heading out to the ski park most likely, especially as we do go into Friday night, Saturday, and maybe even into parts of Sunday as well. But Chester, you're borderline, maybe seeing a bit of a mix on Friday, but overall you have to go pretty high in elevation. All right, so here's the big picture. We've got some active weather in the Pacific Ocean. I mean, this is the storm system that'll be impacting us today, but again, it's being broken apart by the ridge that's over us now, but may have just enough strength to produce some of that activity I mentioned to you earlier for today. This is coming in behind it, maybe a bit of a break, and then more activity coming in behind that. So again, you can see just a fairly active pattern over the Pacific, and the energy associated with this will most likely have an impact on us through the weekend and even into next week. So we're looking at the current situation. There's that little bit of a break I was talking about, that little ridge, but more activity coming in behind that. There's, of course, that system that's approaching us today. But as I mentioned, that ridge of high pressure is breaking down. You see what's happening? You see how we're getting more of a southwesterly flow? This was actually right on top of us even just yesterday. But as these storms ride over that ridge, it starts to kind of break away at it, and it weakens it. And this is all just going to be shifting and pushing down to the south. That will and is beginning to open the door for the storms that are off to our west, giving us that potential for some more rainfall and cooler temperatures. So as we progress through time, the main first event is going to be on Friday. There's the area of low pressure. Here's the cold front. Snow levels starting off high in advance of the cold front, Behind it, the colder air begins to move in. Snow levels by Saturday, even into Sunday, will be down to about 3,500 feet, give or take. But still some decent rain coming in on Saturday, the potential for thunderstorms in the valley and maybe the coast. I think Sunday morning some showers, but maybe a break Sunday afternoon and Monday morning. But by Monday into Tuesday, we've got another round of these weak disturbances passing through, giving us some more rain for Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Off and on. It's not going to be entirely wet the entire time. So you'll be looking at that potential here through Wednesday. Behind all of that is drier conditions, possibly. Okay, but you see another one coming in toward the end of next week. So you get the idea. We've got the active pattern over the Pacific Ocean. We're opening the door. That ridge of high pressure is breaking apart and moving on out. That's opening the door for these storms to move on in. So we're going to be getting more rain and more snow in the mountains. Now, I'm not a fan of showing you numbers for the long range, but I just want to show you the overall footprint of what's generally is expected where some of the heaviest amount of rainfall will be. So through Tuesday, this is only through Tuesday, but this is taking you through Tuesday of next week, heaviest rainfall will be typical spots. Northwest Delaware County, or Delaware County in general, and of course along the coast, North Coast in general as well, and then northern Shasta County into southern Siskiyou County, and of course off into the Sierra, seeing some of that as well. Not as much for the valley, but the north end of the valley around Redding, seeing probably most amount of rainfall out of this. That's in the lighter shade of blue and in the purple there, so that's maybe 1 to 2 inches of rain. Again, we don't want to go into specifics, but just a general idea of what we're dealing with here. And as we typically see, we're just seeing less in the way of that precipitation off to the north and east. So, looking at the Climate Prediction Center, the areas in green here indicating better chances of seeing above normal rainfall and better chances of seeing below normal temperatures. So again, that's going to be that support for us to see more snow in the Sierra in particular. That's going to be nice, adding to that snowpack. And maybe by tomorrow I'll take a look at the snowpack, see how it's looking now, and then see if we can see improvement in that once these storm systems do begin to kind of pass through. All right, so there you can see your wave heights for today. Not that big of a deal here, but what we'll notice here at those wave heights, they are beginning to increase a little bit here as we take you through the next couple of days because of that approaching storm system on Friday. So marine forecast for today, south winds at 5 to 15 knots, waves from the west at 2 feet at 7 seconds, and from the west at 5 feet at about 14 seconds. And there are no advisories out there for at least the marine forecast. Here's what we have here for today, kind of that bigger footprint for all of Northern California. Low 70s for the valley instead of those mid to upper 70s we saw yesterday. So again, temperatures are dropping. Mainly in the low to mid 60s for the higher elevations, although for Trinity County, around 70, give or take. Low 70s for the inland areas, and for the coast, no big changes there. Temperatures mainly in the mid to upper 50s for your daytime highs. So looking at your 7-day outlook, just kind of a general perspective here. Dry today, tomorrow. Now again, remember when we were looking at Futurecast, Redding has a potential for a late afternoon, early evening shower, off chance for a thunderstorm. But I think it'll be mainly north and west of Redding. So Whiskeytown, Old Shasta, Lakehead, places like that, right? And then northward, getting towards Dunsmuir, for example, Mount Shasta too. Then of course, Red Bluff, I think Chico, you'll be dry today, all day, including tomorrow, and then the rain, the main event coming in on Friday. Now looking at the coast, later tonight, I think you'll see some showers, not to mention inland and maybe even places like Weaverville. But for the most part, a dry day today, and not to mention for your Thursday, and there's that main event coming in on Friday. And same situation here for Mount Shasta, El Tourist, and Susanville. Now, Mount Shasta, as I mentioned, later on this afternoon and evening, you might see a stray shower, and again, an off chance for a thunderstorm, but otherwise should be dry for the next couple of days. And then, of course, we've got that better chance for rain and snow coming in for Friday. Snow levels high, 6,000 feet. Now, as the cold front passes on Friday, we may see them drop for the second half of the day behind the cold front down to maybe 5,000, 4,500 feet. But I think the colder air really won't be here until the weekend, where we got those snow levels down about 3,500 feet for your Saturday and your Sunday. So that's kind of what it's looking like there. And then, of course, snow levels begin to rise a little bit going into Monday and Tuesday of next week. But this is good. I mean, this is good to see the rain. It's good to see the snow because this is going to add more to our snowpack. it's going to add more to the snow that we'll see at the ski park, right? And I'm sure there's been a lot of snow melt here this week because of the warmer temperatures that we've seen out of the ski park. So for us to be able to see what's going on here and see more snow, well, I tell you what, I mean, that's just good to see. That's just great. And of course, when we think about the Sierra, I mean, we're going to be looking at more snow up there as well. So this is great. This is all good to see here. Good morning from Cloudy Palisadro. Good morning from Chester. How you doing, Shyla? Good to see that you're watching from Chester. Curtis Brown. It's a hobby vineyard. Oh, okay. About 100 vines, not commercial. We make our own. Oh, fun. That's pretty cool. Ruth Sanchez saying good morning. Foggy in Weaverville. Okay, interesting. Let's take a look at that visibility map here. Yeah, it's showing some of that. You can kind of see here. I mean, it's showing the visibility. Unfortunately, the weather station in Weaverville that we get access to doesn't really show much in the way of visibility. So we have to kind of go off of an overall general sense here. So that's kind of what that number is there. But looks like we are seeing some of that fog down to a mile of visibility, kind of that yellow indicating about a mile visibility. So yeah, thank you for the report there, Lisa. And good morning from Catherine. How long will this rain pattern continue? Think about Easter and those egg hunts. Oh yeah, that's coming up. But the wet weather pattern is expected to continue through at least the middle of next week. That's what it's beginning to look like at this point. So let me look at a calendar. Yeah, but as we get toward the end of next week, we may see some more wet weather. We'll see. So hopefully the Easter egg hunts for now should be dry. We'll see. But, it's always good to get that rain. We could certainly use that rainfall. Let's see if there's any cameras that we can show you here as we kind of start wrapping things up here this morning. We're going to start off by taking you from an image here from Chico Main Street. That is going to do it here for today. I'm Coffee with Krueger this morning. Thank you all so much for watching this morning. As you can see here, traffic is flowing smoothly in Main Street, Chico. So once again, thank you for watching. Have yourselves a great day, and we'll see you bright and early tomorrow morning. Tomorrow is Thursday, the second full day of spring. Get out there and make it a great day, everyone, and we will see you tomorrow morning.
Thank you.